to update on what I observed on gang stalking. This is not a gang stalking channel, but if it gets where I'm dropping information, I might have to make a separate channel for gang stalking. I've learned a couple things over the last couple of days. The main thing is, it seems to be an app where I was listening to this video, and I wasn't sure if it was real because they got into some other shit talking about they might be aliens or they're not human or whatever. That right there sounds like some government shit trying to distract you. But I did take a couple interesting things, mainly about, they were saying that they would tell a gang stalker, and it's something, it's called like something about the confessions of a gang stalker, something like that, where they would tell somebody to drive down the street, drive down a certain street at a certain time with their lights on and do certain stuff. Just taking that into consideration. It seems to be an app that they follow. It's not like they know where you're at. Maybe the higher ups of it, they know where you're at, but the people, the individual they're using, they don't necessarily know where you're at. They just know what streets to drive down. And the reason why I got an app is because I rode up on a guy whose car was positioned to be right in my visual with his high beams on, and I pulled up on him without him really noticing, and he seemed to be watching the app with like 4 different screens. This is just my hypothesis. I don't know this to be true, but it definitely seems to be an app that they're following. It's not like they know where you're at all times. I also learned that they also seem to be driving in packs. You know what I mean? It seemed like, because when I'm on the freeway, or even when I'm on the streets, and I've seen it, I witnessed it. I witnessed it a couple times where, mainly on the freeway, where there'll be like 2 cars in front of you, and then it'll be like 3 cars in the back of you, and the 3 in the back of you, they're positioning themselves in certain angles to where this car would be right here, and this car would be more on this side, and they got just one flashing light always on you. You know what I'm saying? I've started to notice a pattern of that. So they'll block you in almost to be running some type of games on you where they're just flashing your lights at you. I've also noticed how the car directly in front of a car with the flashing lights is always positioned to where they can be flashing you. And I also noticed that, also from that video, they said that they get them certain cars to get modified. Because I have a decent car, right? I have a 2017 Prius Prime. And I can't just keep my fog lights on, or I can't just have my middle lights on. I've been trying. But I don't see where I can just, you know what I mean? Just have certain lights on. You know what I mean? I don't have a switch where I can just switch it, where I can only have certain lights on. And I have a pretty newer car. So, in that instance, I believe when they say getting their car modified where they can play different tricks with their lights, and maybe they can be contacted or you know what I mean, or identify where they're at for their car to work well with the app that I'm guessing that they're on. Because there's no way that they know your exact location at all times. I think they're following some type of app, and it's made to look at. And the reason why I believe it, because I've been playing a little bit with the airplane mode, and when my phones are on airplane mode, it definitely seems to be less cars following me. But what I'm saying, but there's still I still notice them. But what I'm thinking is that the app, I'm pretty sure they can track the GPS on your car. It's like they're just telling certain cars to pull over and keep your lights on. Yeah, so I'm starting to notice that. I've also noticed that these people that they use are also, there's something wrong with them, which is not hard to believe, especially if you're out here, if you're eating meat, and every time you look up, there's chemtrails. It wouldn't be hard, because on my last video, somebody was telling me to I forgot what it was called, but to check out the neural disorder or neural something, where they can control control your thoughts. I still got to do some more research on it. I just, from what I've seen, that the technology is real. So pretty much that's all you need to know. So it wouldn't be surprising to know that they're convincing people to do this because they can control their emotions and control their thoughts. Because think about it, like, why would you be doing this shit? Like, there's got to be something wrong with you. And another thing which was shocking that video told me is that they're paying certain people to do this shit. I remember when I first moved into my apartment building, I thought it was normal for all these people to be walking at night. You know, I'm thinking they're just getting their exercises. The longer and longer I live there, the lesser they're doing it. And when I come home at certain times, they're doing it in the scorching heat. And I just recently stopped smoking weed. And smoking weed actually helped me from getting depressed from this shit. It does. It gets my mind somewhere else and less focused on what's happening. I no longer smoke weed, so now I'm noticing this shit and what's happening. The other night, they were all, you know what I mean, they were walking like crazy, a bunch of them, and then a car that's always parked a couple spots down from mine. Like, you can, I mean, if you've been dealing with this so long, you can actually see the people that are following you. Like, you can notice them right off the bat, right? So this guy noticed right away. I stopped to talk to him. You know, he had a big ass stick. I can tell the way he just went to his car and then started walking towards me that he was following me, right? And I asked him what the stick for. He couldn't come up with a good answer. The best answer he came out with, I have walking issues. But that wasn't the type of stick you used to have walking issues. It was this long stick, wood stick, like he just picked up and pulled all the branches off. That's what it looked like. So that was the first red flag. And then he told me about how he's going through certain shit and how there's certain clicks in his apartment that sticks together, and they be putting nail in his tire, and I just got a nail in my tire. So he kind of put that together for me, right? I seen him again the other day, and turns out he's apartment right fucking next to mine. Never seen the guy in my life, but he so happened. So I seen him the other day. I came home. You know, they were acting weird. He was with his girlfriend, and then so I noticed him, but I kept minding my business. And he must have started walking fast to catch up to me. Turn to find out, he's my fucking next door neighbor. So I guess what they're saying is true. It is your neighbors, and that's how they know when you're leaving in the morning. Just think, why are you up at a certain times to tell or notify people, he's leaving the apartment? Like, that's a job. Like, that's pure misery. Like, you would have to be, if you don't know me, to develop a hatred for me. Like, why would you be doing all that? Like, how can somebody convince you to do it? I get it if there's money involved, but But I've actually seen like people who follow me around the store, so I know who works for Walmart or whatever. Like the security guard comes and flashes his high beams on me. Not all the time, but you know what I mean? So everybody is literally, it does seem like everybody is literally in on it. But the main thing I mentioned about my apartments is I didn't realize that since the beginning of me living there, they've been doing their little gang stalking shit since the very beginning. And that's why I've always thought it was racist, because, you know, I live in an Asian community, you know what I mean, where the apartments are mostly Asians. And that's why I always assumed that this was a racial issue. And like I say, I'm thinking I still have no other reason other than, you know, how I feel about myself, me being a chosen one and all that, why they'll be doing this. So I'm still leaning towards more as a racial issue. But I've realized is that, yeah, those people are doing it. And where I work, like, I already know one person who does what I do in front of Walmart. As a matter of fact, their car is right next to me. She lives in my apartment building. So these people know everything about me. You know what I'm saying? I also found out that the apartment right direct from me on the other side, she's watching me. I got up this morning early, like 5 in the morning, just to check on my car, because I do tend to anyway, I don't want to mention that. Like, I just happened to look up, and they're staring at me through their blinds, and they shut it real fast, and I'm like, damn. So that's why they know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would have to actually, like, you know what I mean, be up early watching to see if I leave my house. Like, and also, as soon as I walk to the store, not only when I leave for work, even if it's in the morning and it's broad daylight, the whole streets is lit up with people flashing their lights. Like, literally whole streets. My next update will, I gotta wait till I get this camera installed on my car, because in my next videos, I'm gonna actually show you what I'm going through, because it's not really hard to show you or prove it, because like I say, when I walked to the store last night, cars were flashing their high beams all day, and then the same cars would pass by, and I would be able to get that on film to show you, like, hey, this is not just, this is real, this is happening. Like, it's not hard to prove it. They don't expect you to go outside with the intent to film what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I just act like I'm on a phone but really recording, like, they won't get scared. And I've also noticed when I get close to people coming from the opposite direction of the streets with their high beams flashing, they seem to be looking at an app. A lot of them are looking away so I don't see their face, but they also seem to be looking at an app. So I don't think they know your absolute location. I think majority of these people are getting told to do from an app, some type of gang stalking app, and that's what I'm leaning towards. But it won't be hard to prove if you're getting gang stalked like me, to walk to the store and record what's actually happening, because it makes no sense for you to be, you know what I mean, flashing high beams every fucking 5 minutes. It doesn't make any sense. Especially when I'm telling you in ahead, like, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna show you what I'm dealing with or what I'm talking about. It won't be hard to prove. And since we already know that the cops are in on it, it's not like you can go to the cops and show it to them. I've also noticed in the last couple of days, the police are starting to be more visual. Like the other day, the cops are right in front of me, and it seemed like they must have pulled somebody over for having their high beams on. I'm just guessing, but like I said, I've been through this before. The cops do have a way of, but the thing is, a couple cars behind me, the cop had his lights on. You know what I'm saying? Broad daylight. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, seemed like nobody's worried about you know what I mean, wearing down their battery anymore. You know what I'm saying? But there's definitely something wrong with these people. Like, so it's like the government knowing who they're who to choose and who to talk to. You know what I'm saying? They're not picking, you know, people who are happy with their lives, if you get my drift. You know what I'm saying? They're picking people who are quote unquote miserable or have something wrong with them. And it doesn't make any sense of how many people are involved in this, but it just seems to be endless. So when you're out, you know what I'm saying, start to notice the cars that are following you and the patterns. And you are also notice other people being gang stalked. You know what I mean? I've noticed that, like, especially when they're driving in car formations. Like, they seem to, you know what I'm saying? They seem to be driving in formations, and I'm looking and I noticed it, and I'm like, dude, they're probably gang stalking other people. You know what I'm saying? It's not just you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not, well, obviously, it's not just you. With all this information on gang stalking on YouTube, obviously, it's not just you. But, yeah, so I just want to give you a quick update on what I've been noticing. I'm gonna start, like I say, as soon as I get these bills paid up, because I'm focused on, you know, my life and better in my life, for me to not have to work so much. So I'm doing that, but then I got all this other shit coming up. Oh yeah, and I got a fucking ticket the other day for failure to yield. It was one of those stops where you can't turn right until the light turned green. This is like my second one this year. For some reason, the next one I got is like $1,200. Like, when the fuck? What the fuck? It's not even like running a red light. It's just one you wasn't supposed to turn right until the light turned green. So I didn't run a red light, because somehow my ticket is $1,200. I already know I can go to got a ticket and then have them you know, go to court for me for $500. So I don't even know why the ticket was so much, but I think that has something to do with this gang stalking shit. What else? That's pretty much it, man. It definitely seems to be an app they're following. My bad of course I got the AC going. And I'm serious about starting a community, man. We definitely need to start a community. And another thing, where they're saying they're doing this and they're hoping people commit suicide. It does get dark sometimes, but you know what works for me is realizing that, for one, stop being mad all the time. You know, don't even bother to retaliate, because I retaliate. I'm just scared to tell you what I've been doing, and I'm gonna stop. And just be positive when everybody's being negative. That helps. And just remind yourself to be positive. And when you do that and you ignore them, that's when you're gonna start noticing the police more. So just prepare yourself for that. And yeah, so I think that's it. And understand that the people that are doing this are miserable, bro. It's no way that you would want to do this. Even if you getting paid for it, it's like, even when you have a good job, you still start to hate to what you do. You know what I mean? And if they love what they're doing, then they're probably, you know what I mean, then we can get into the you know, the spiritual level, the spiritual part of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So understand these people. Just remember who these people are and why you shouldn't really pay them no attention, and that will help you get through the dark times where you feel like these people won't stop. Why is this happening to me? Just remember that, and that it really helps. All right, I'm out.